So, talking to Lisa would have likely brought in some information that Jimmy couldn't deny. He couldn't deny because you're just taking one side's testimony and you're saying it's completely true. And just like you've heard a lot of conversation and answering questions from people who've been abused, neglected, all that, Doug has too. And he knows the responses to give you. And that was what Jonathan alluded to.
On Daystar, and you publicly affirm their relationship as being of the Lord. Can you do that in good conscience without having talking to Lisa to get her side of the story? Because for all you know, Doug could have just told you half-truths or one side of the story.
Well, Jonathan, I have a lot of experience, I have a lot of discernment. I could have, in talking to Doug and also with Joni, I could have discerned if he was lying in 5 minutes because I know how to talk to him. And when he said to me when we were talking and I asked question after question after question after question, he answered every question exactly, and he never dishonored Lisa, never threw under the bus.
But he's a pro. He's like the best of the best when it comes to like dealing with people.
You've dehumanized him.
He would know what to say, you know.
I'm an object in this world. The world you guys created, that was an object.
Woo-wee! Ooh, let's get into this. The full video, the full audio, I should say, of the conversation about the marriage and how Jimmy, not Neutron, but Evans, said that I could have told in 5 minutes that I have a lot of discernment. I could have told in 5 minutes whether they were lying or not.
Wild.
Bro, I know how to talk to Joni. Like, and we're not gonna talk about his issues right now because we did that in another video. If you haven't watched it yet, go to our channel, watch the video. But before we get started with this episode, like, subscribe, share, give us a thumbs up.
If you want to be a vibe,
subscribe.
And welcome everybody to Level Up with Larry and Leo, where we turn trials and opportunities and dreams into reality. I am Larry, and this is Leo, and he's ready to unload on Dougie Fresh.
Dougie, low down, dirty Doug. Hey man, I don't know how. I mean, I have my plausible reasons, but I don't know why Jimmy is so adamant with very little work and research. Like, bro, we not asking for your discernment. We asking what kind of work did you do to verify and qualify this as a biblical divorce. Like, come on, brother. Come on. And you don't interview the other side? You don't talk to the lady? You don't talk to the accused? You don't talk to the abuser?
Because the other side doesn't have the bag.
Come on, man. And then Jonathan makes a great point by saying, hey, maybe he's good at this. He's a counselor. He's heard people who have abused their spouse. He's heard people who've been abused by their spouse. Maybe he knows what to say.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a pro. How do you discount that? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, we're basically going back to this situation with Doug and just trying to pull out a little bit more information out of it, a little bit more details, and just wanting to kind of re-examine this situation because, again, this is really there's so much
in there
to unpack here that we really felt like it was necessary to, re-examine the situation.
Because these 10 minutes tell a lot about what Jonathan and Susie were going up against.
Mm-hmm. And you could tell the way that Jimmy was trying to, son Jonathan and make things.
Oh, bro, we gonna hear more of that. Yeah, but from the rip, you like, I got incredible discernment. My discernment, 5 minutes. All I need is 5 minutes. I would have known whether they were lying or not.
Listen, we're gonna leave all this fake discernment in 2024, and in 2025 we need receipts.
Okay. Please. Let's continue.
Yeah.
So he's not a brother in Christ. Yeah. He's not forgiven. He's not the righteousness of Christ. He's an object.
Well, so you have dehumanized him. He's a professional. He knew what he was doing and seducing a grieving widow and all this stuff. What I'm saying is, as a human, I'm talking to Doug on the phone and I'm asking questions, and he's answering every single question the way I've heard it answered over and over and over by someone who's been abused over a long period of time. And so, number one. Number two is I talk to people and I ask questions, because I'm not going to tell you who I talked to, but I asked questions and I got the answers about what was happening in their relationship. And I met Lisa a couple of times. And so I was satisfied because of the conversations I had with her and him and others, that in having a conversation with Lisa, because we talked about this when we met the other day, I think Rachel was asking, I know what Lisa would have said. And what it would have done is exactly what Doug said. It would have slowed it down.
Whoa. What? You know exactly what she would have said? Does discernment work like that? Discernment don't work like that. I don't know what kind of discernment that. Is that prophecy or discernment? I know exactly what she would have said. And then he goes, "Oh, I've had conversations with her. I've seen her. I've met her a couple of times." Brother, like, what? How dumb do you think we are?
Jimmy is giving Christian counseling a really bad rap.
Bro, Jimmy, what are you doing? You are tap dancing to try to get out of this. You're like, well, I've talked to many people. I'm not going to tell you who I talked to.
Yeah, it forces you to
But I did talk to Lisa, but not about this. I just met her a couple times. But I know what she would have said had I had a chance to talk to her.
It forces you to wonder what Joni has given to Jimmy, and like what is.
Yeah, Joni's got Jimmy in her pocket.
Yeah, it is really wild, the situation. It really seems like he's more so like, been paid to give.
Bro, rubber stamp this marriage or else. That's the vibe that I'm getting. That's what I'm feeling by his direction and his conversation and how he's delivering it.
And I believe Jimmy had a program on Daystar as well.
Oh, bro, I'm telling you, she had him in her pocket. Oh, because sure. The person that she didn't have in her pocket was telling, hey, pump the brakes. And Jonathan's real concern was, okay, my mother's a widow. No doubt is she grieving. Now, if you watched some of our earlier episodes, we talked about how she may have been distant from the relationship before based on the infidelity that happened for 7+ years. So she may have already been disconnected and grieved the death of her marriage before the death of her actual husband. But that's neither here nor there. His objection is, why does it have to move so fast?
Right.
I'm okay with her moving on and having this thing take off, but why does it have to move so fast?
Yeah.
Are you burning that bad? Is the question that I think he really want to ask. Y'all burning that bad? Y'all yearning that bad? Y'all lusting that bad? That y'all can't hold off.
Just to make sure that it's done properly and decently and in order.
Exactly. And the scripture says, let's abstain for the appearance of evil.
Right.
Bro, the timing of everything is off. You're paying for the honeymoon before you even propose. Like, all this thing is off, bro. Everything is given like something was going on before Marcus exited this earth. That's what it's giving. Because or Dougie Fresh or Dougie Unfresh had a dirty game of taking advantage of a new widow and cashing out.
My God.
It's one or the other. It's one or the other.
Months. Lisa would have said, I tried to work on a relationship, I want the relationship. That's what I'm saying. So I have to work with the people sitting in front of me and the information I have and the experience I have.
Yeah,
and again, it all comes down to trust. And, Rachel said this the other day. She said, talking about you, Susie, she said, well, Susie wants to say something. She has a lot more trust in you than anybody else at this table, which was obviously disrespectful. And I don't care. The great thing about being my age is I just don't care. I've got a good quality of life. You can trust my experience and my judgment, or you can't. I'm not going to sell myself. I'm not going to defend myself. The only thing I'm going to say is this is not the first time or the 30th time.
Yeah, of course, Jimmy. And I know that talking to Lisa could have slowed it down 6 months, but would that have been a bad thing when we're all questioning every single? No, I know, but
they're concerned. They're
every son and daughter. Jimmy, can I finish?
It was about adult children in a remarriage when there's been a death, and I'm saying I give you grace for your emotions and what you're feeling, but I'm not going through what you're going through, and I've got the experience. I'm saying,
Jimmy,
you can trust and you can submit, or you can keep going through this wrangling, and that's all it is.
We need to process this out.
I'm not going to talk to Lisa. I didn't talk to Lisa, and I'm not going to defend myself on that.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, would it be the worst thing if it slowed down 6 months if every single offspring of these two individuals is questioning the validity of this marriage?
If yours different,
No.
it's not going to change the Bible verses you quote.
No.
It's not going to change anything.
No, but again, what if there's a spark of hope that Lisa could get back with you? Wouldn't that be the best solution in the end?
Okay.
No, I'm serious. Wouldn't that be the best solution before God if you guys could get back?
But what you didn't trust is I gave 1,000% to make that possible. 1,000%.
Stop right there. Can we see the manipulation right there? When he's about to hit a good point. You know what I mean? When you about to make a good counter argument.
Yeah.
Like, would that have been a bad thing? 6 months. 180 days. Would that have been such a bad thing?
Considering the circumstances.
Considering the situation. And you see how they try to flip it real quick. Like that right there just, it just, I don't know about you. You can comment below. It don't smell right. You know how you open the fridge and you just know something in the fridge has gone bad? You don't know what it is yet. But you just open the fridge like, I don't know. Did I leave some fruit that's rotting in the back? Is there some meat that has turned brown? There's something funky about how they're approaching this. When there's not only did you confess to not really talking to the other side, like what kind of that's a discernment without confirmation is still, in my opinion, irresponsible.
Right.
Because if I discerned that this person was telling the truth, and I'm able to get the story from another side that's willing to talk to me, why don't I have both sides of the story? And then not only use discernment, but use logic, which God also gave us. Use our ability to reason to see, okay, is this reasonable? Because this man confessed to having a great marriage for 30 years. And just a matter of months after this lady's husband passes away, you're filing for divorce? Like, on the surface, that looks suspicious. So let's dig deeper. And so what? It takes a little longer. What is the problem with it taking another 6 months, 3 months? Y'all already dating. Y'all already taking trips. You already calling the jet to fly out. You getting flued out. New York, this place, that place. Right? What's the issue? Okay, you burning, right? You burning. You don't want to dabble in sin. I commend you on that. But okay, cool it off for a little bit. yo, we're not gonna be alone for a while. We're not gonna have those long conversations again. Let's take it slow. Slow down. I just want to get to know you. That's all I'm saying. And the fact that they're trying to twist and block what he's bringing up, and so much so that if you see the beginning of the conversation, it was only Jimmy. Somebody else had to jump in, and then that person jumped in, and now you got multiple people talking.
He tried to make it like, oh, these adult children who it's none of their business. Why are they bringing anything up? That's the kind of the stance he took. Like, he wasn't really dealing with the issue. He was trying to make something that wasn't an issue, and that's sort of the argument that he took.
Yeah, like these adult children just hating on this relationship. Okay? And we gonna put our hater blockers on and we gonna keep rocking and doing our thing. Like, bro, okay. Adult children on both sides.
Right.
Have an issue saying, wait, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And my brother, I don't know about you, but I am acquainted with people and young people who've lived in homes where their parents had abusive relationships. My brother, no matter how good you are at hiding, your kids will see the abuse.
Yep.
Because they're always there. They're always there. So for this to come out of the blue for them tells me either the abuse was real new or it never happened.
My heart cried out for her to do that. Okay, I gave it 1,000%. And you're saying, oh, well, just keep doing it. Okay, I gave it that. Okay, I gave it 1,000%. And yes, that's intensity because I've been through 30 years of being neglected. And I tried and tried and cried and prayed. Okay, this isn't, you're not scared. You're not scared of me. I'm told.
Bro, here we are again. Talking about submission. You either going to submit. I'm not going to justify myself. Right. I'm not going to, because I don't have any proof. I don't have any substance. I ain't got nothing to really tell you. You either going, I'm not going to prove myself. You either going to take it or not. You either going to submit or you're going to rebel. And you know what that means? When somebody say you either going to submit, they're basically saying you either going to submit or you're going to burn in hell.
It seems like submission is like a last ditch effort when none of my arguments are working. Like,
it's the
I have no other argument, so I'm just gonna bring submission up.
And you see how quickly he said, "No, I didn't talk to Lisa, and I'm not gonna justify that to you. You're either gonna submit. I didn't do everything I needed to do to make this
make sense
investigation. This trying to vet out if this is a godly divorce. I didn't do all that I should have done, and I'm not gonna justify it to you." Hello?
Just submit, bro. That's all. Just submit.
You see how weird, how like you have nothing of substance, so you're just gonna throw down submission. Like, you either gonna submit or you going to hell. I can't take that, bro. I cannot take that. We should not be willing to take that type of leadership. Because what is it? It's lazy. L-A-Z-Y. It is lazy leadership.
Yep. Crazy.
Well, off put by your reaction.
He acts like that when I yell. It's not acting.
You're saying something again.
It's his personality.
Okay, that I have been through an incredible amount of pain. And you're saying, Doug, damn it, just suck
No, I'm
it up
not.
and try it
I'm not
again.
saying that.
I'm just trying to understand.
I'm just
Why did you go to Lisa and
no. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be the most honoring thing before the Lord?
It's not honoring to be abused. It's not honoring to be abused. It's not honoring to be neglected. It's not honoring to be untouched and unloved. It's not honoring to do that. Okay? I have a clear conscience before my God who has never left me 1 second in this process and provides miracles for me to get out of that. Okay? It's not honorable to do that. You're saying just get beat up at home and suck it up because you wear the name Christian.
No, but
do it in the name of Jesus.
but can God change her heart? Can she change?
Jonathan, I pray to God you never go through the kind of pain he's been through.
Hit dog will holler every single time. A hit dog will holler. And your boy Dougie went, ooh. My goodness. Now, we talked about this in one of our previous episodes, how Jonathan's frame of reference when he says, hey, isn't that the best solution? That Lisa would come back and the marriage would be put back together? Isn't that what you do for couples? Is what I would have said. Isn't that what you believe for other couples? Isn't that what you've been doing for 30 plus years as a counselor, a Christian counselor? And his frame of reference is his late father had a 7-year entanglement relationship of the physical nature outside of the marriage. And by all we could see on the exterior, that was mended, or there was some sort of agreement or some sort of, agreement made, whether it's, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to come back, I'm going to rebuild the trust, I'm all here, I'm not looking elsewhere anymore. Or, hey, we're going to open this thing up with some boundaries or whatever I don't know. And some of y'all are saying, why would people of God do that? Hey, man, we've heard worse. Okay? So I'm not going to put nothing past nobody. But whatever happened, it seemed from the outside and from him being there in the house growing up with his parents, that hurdle was cleared.
Yeah.
And for all intents and purposes, they were together. They seemed to have a functioning marriage. So that's his frame of reference when he's saying, isn't that the best case solution?
Exactly.
Because your main complaint is neglect as abuse. And yes, you're going to go on to say some other stuff, but you can't that be resolved? That's his frame of reference.
Right.
And then he goes off saying, I have tried 1,000%.
And
for
there's
30
no way,
years, brother.
There is no way God would want me to go back into that.
But for 30 years, though, you're telling me for 30 years, that abuse, for 30 years, that neglect. But y'all got multiple kids. But for 30 years, it may have not been enough for you. I could, hey, I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
You might have won it 5-6 times, and you only got 1 a week. Okay. But to the level of reaction to that makes me feel like it's like a reaction in a bad movie. You ever watch a bad movie when an actor overacts?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? When a more subtle reaction would have been more effective.
Yeah.
By saying, Jonathan, I wish I could tell you how much I've tried and put my soul into saving the marriage. And this was not the only time we talked about getting divorced. Open up. And say, okay, this is what we went through. This is how we, you know what I mean? Share a little bit. Show me what.
Give a little more context.
Yes. Instead of saying, it was horrible from the beginning and I'm finally out. Like, bro, come on. Come on. something in the fridge don't smell right.
Yeah, Doug is definitely given a lot more than it just feels very staged.
Yes, 1,000% staged. 1,000%.
Like, we got to do the best we can to make it seem as though this is as legitimate of a divorce as we possibly can. And for people who are married, we understand, like, we know, no, this ain't it, bro.
Bro, all marriages have their issues, bro. And then
Everyone.
bro, like you.
And the little bit that we know about Lisa, it just does not. Something's not adding up.
And guess what? In my personal opinion, I think it was orchestrated so Jimmy would not have that conversation with Lisa.
Yeah.
Because, and in the comments, remind me if I'm wrong or not. The first person that they had a conversation with, Doug and Joni, that told him to slow down, also had a conversation with Lisa.
Yeah.
And that's who said slow down. Then they went to Jimmy and got the green light from Jimmy. So talking to Lisa would have likely brought in some information that Jimmy couldn't deny. He couldn't deny, because you're just taking one side's testimony and you're saying it's completely true. And just like you've heard a lot of conversation and answering questions from people who've been abused, neglected, all that, Doug has too. And he knows the responses to give you. And that was what Jonathan alluded to.
What's kind of annoying too is the fact that Jimmy is trying to present himself as if he's an objective party.
Hello.
Like, he's trying to give himself, like, oh yeah, I'm super objective. I'm just here to dig out the truth.
Referee. I'm just the umpire.
Yeah. Like, dude, we know who you are, and this is so annoying. Yeah. Like, and again, you're insulting Jonathan's intelligence.
Oh yeah.
You're trying to give off this impression as if people don't know what your role is in this whole thing. Yeah. And it's just super annoying, and just like, bro, like, why are you doing this? Why are you letting Joni put you in this position? Like, it's just it's
compromising your integrity, which
100%.
You know, we find out some more about that. But yeah.
Let's keep going.
I understand, but can people change?
You don't understand. You don't understand.
But can people,
you don't have the life experience?
I understand, but I'm saying we serve a big God. He can change. He can restore marriages. That's what we believe for as Daystar. Like, that is the best outcome here.
But it's not our place.
I know, but she can change.
Like, if God talks to everyone individually, God has talked to him.
Okay, there's not a capacity for that. Okay, she chooses not to.
Okay, can
I just give you an insight into Jonathan, just so you don't misunderstand him? When we fight, if it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm begging to go to sleep, and he will not. He's just the type of guy. I call it Angry Birds because he used to play Angry Birds. He will not let it go till he fully understands, and that's what he's doing.
But we're processing. This is good. We need to know, like,
it's not that he doesn't believe you. He just that's his
so
personality.
In my office, people fly from all over the country for the last 30 years, and I sat with marriages, 5,000 marriages, and there's some that died right there in my office. They die right there. Okay. Because it can't be done. It can't always be done. God doesn't always raise the dead.
Me too.
God doesn't always heal. God doesn't always heal somebody. God didn't heal you.
It's free will, and it's her free will.
God doesn't always supersede the will of another person. If you decide to go cheat, He's not going to stop you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and we all snap.
Of course.
Okay, but He's not going to stop free will. If someone has a will not to love, now you can't believe this because you have an experience and you're a really decent human being. Okay, you would never do that because you're really good. You're like your mom. Okay, but there are people who choose not to love, and you can't believe that.
I can imagine. that.
There are people like that.
Yeah.
So you have to trust them.
Right.
And I've written books on it. Counselors pay $1,000 to get trained on it because they see it.
Yeah.
Damage people.
About that. Okay. They wouldn't be buying a product if they didn't need to understand people who choose not to love. And so no, there's not time. Was not.
And see,
it wasn't a solution. It wasn't on the table.
Yeah.
And it's over.
Yeah.
Okay. That's dead. And if you consider it sin, I'm forgiven if you consider it sin. Okay.
I'm not. God judges. I just.
But you definitely trust that that's not an option. I gave it everything.
Right.
More than most people could ever do.
I trust that.
Incredibly persistent, incredibly strong, incredibly Try.
It's just
That's
like
what you've been trying to say the whole time.
it's just whenever you.
It's like, but still, the judgment comes, and nobody looks at the 36 years that you tried. Oh, you tried.
But see, here's the thing, Doug.
He
Like,
has no filter to understand it. Now she's getting it. He still isn't getting it.
no, I'm getting it. I'm processing. I think I have to work through this. But see, but this is good. Like, this is a conversation that needs to happen out in the open because right now people are.
I'm not going to uncover these like this.
We're not going to hurt his family. We're not going to make her look any worse than what we did. That's why
That makes it
I took it down for her. You want to know? I took the freaking video.
I want to know why. Yeah,
Yeah, I took it down for her.
you can say it nicely. You have to be mean.
I'm emotional because you are.
No, I've been very calm. I'm just asking questions that are concerning
She
me.
took it down for Lisa because it felt uncovering, and it wasn't the heart of it, wasn't the spirit of it. Okay, I'm not going to uncover her.
But he didn't ask me to take it
But I'm
down.
not going to uncover.
I took it down on my own.
But what you should take away from that, and I hope you can communicate to your staff, and to your kids, to your
Siblings.
well, they'll be your kids.
To your
your
staff.
sisters.
They have to kids, please, Lord.
But to your family is Doug will take a bullet for you. He will not.
I think it'd be great if you had that conversation with them.
Well, they should be here.
In the right time, y'all will.
This is over.
They're not ready yet, but in the right time.
This is the last conversation.
Well,
When you walked away from the meeting is, Doug's not going to uncover his life. He's not uncovered. You're sitting there. And I walk in confidence. I have confidence of some of those powerful people in Christianity who told me their deepest secrets you will never know.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
See, sometimes you want to say, what about that? No way. It's all confidential. I'm very confident.
I'm not trying to.
But I will never uncover.
I'm sure you've tried it a few times.
Something in confidence. I will never.
in fun, in jest.
Yeah,
If
fine.
you need to walk away knowing you met a guy that no matter what your family tells me stays with me, okay, and I'm not going to uncover anything. I'm going to be exposed to all your sin. I already am. Okay, and
You're not gonna be exposed to what now?
I'm going to be exposed to your sin just like you're going to be exposed to ours.
You know
right?
what? I think what the kids really will eventually see is that we are more excited about being together as a couple than any of those other issues they're talking about. Yes, I'm going to keep doing what God's called me to do. I will not shrug that responsibility, take it very seriously. But just for him to have someone who loves him the way I do.
Great.
vice
Other than the
versa.
family stuff, we have a great relationship.
So much to say. So much to say. Oh my God. Jonathan is saying, can this be resolved? And the fact that they're saying that it can be resolved, it can't be resolved, but I didn't talk to the other side.
Yeah. Is just
ridiculous.
Absolutely. There is no real effort on anybody's part to really get a resolution in the situation. And the fact is, Lisa still wanted to make things right.
Yeah.
She still wanted to make things right. She still wanted to see how the marriage can get resolved. And from everything that we ever heard Doug say about the marriage and about Lisa in particular, it seemed like she was a great spouse and a great wife. So what is it that all of a sudden we have to rush right after what's his name is dead and gone to rush into a brand new marriage is just to act like, oh, this is totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Just absolutely ridiculous.
And the fact that Buddy said, I've watched marriages die right in my office. Was it when you pulled out the contract for Cooch? Like,
was that Doug who said that, or was that Jimmy? I couldn't catch that.
I think that was Doug. That sounded like Doug.
Okay, yeah.
Correct me in the comments, because he was like, you got to take my word that I've tried. So my thing is, and another thing he said, okay, if it was sin, can it be forgiven? Yes, it can be forgiven, but it could also be slowed down. You could still slow down and be there.
Yeah.
And cultivate the relationship some more, but from a distance, and then build on that. But to say it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me to say that. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, overall, we can just see that it's obvious that Jimmy is a hired mediator in the situation. and that
we can see what side paid for his services,
and we could just see that Joni and Doug's relationship in their marriage, there is totally something involved that caused it to be rushed and caused it to be what it is now, a complete hot mess. The fact that his divorce was expedited the way it was, and this entire situation, man, it's just completely crazy and completely it's just nuts, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know, man. I can't take too much more of this. What are your final thoughts on it?
My final thought is it was rigged from the jump. It was rigged from the jump. And this conversation was only had to elicit silence and submission.
Yep.
It wasn't there to really expound and give clarity.
Without questions. To get Jonathan to continue doing what he was doing without asking any questions.
Yeah. And that when that didn't work, then it was like, well, you can believe me or you can't. You can submit. Or go to hell. No. Which is what I always... when somebody says you're not submitting, you're in rebellion.
Yeah.
And rebellion is likened unto witchcraft.
But the question is why, though? Why was this marriage pushed so fast? Why did they have to go to these extremes to silence Jonathan, to do what they did? Like, why? What was the end goal with all of this? What are your thoughts on what the end goal was?
The end goal was just to do that, get him to silence up and support, because Jimmy supported publicly, and they're trying to say, hey, Jimmy did his research and he supports it publicly, so we want you to come out
Jimmy was
and
paid.
support it.
That wasn't hard. You couldn't pay Jonathan to do it.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, anybody you can pay off to say what you want them to say, that's not very difficult. But what's the end goal? Like, what are they? What is Joni and Doug really trying to accomplish?
I mean, they're trying to get them on their side so they could back up their story. So it looks like a fairy tale story of lost and love. You know, you lost somebody and now you found love.
Were they trying to put Doug like in the seat that her previous husband was at before he passed?
Oh yeah. Eventually, I think that was the goal, but he's not going to be able to sit on the board and take over the corporation. But I think the reason why Doug went on his Romeo run with Joni is to gain the power, and with that power, the leverage to do what he's doing.
Maybe Joni realized she could not lead Daystar the way that it once was led without somebody in that seat.
Yeah.
And she saw Doug as somebody who can potentially be that person who could lead Daystar into its prominence that it's once held.
Yeah.
Because she knew Jonathan couldn't. Or at least she thought that.
Oh man, what do y'all think about this? What do you think about this? Comment, like, subscribe. Let's have the conversation in the comments below. Hit the notification bell. February, we're going to do another live show in February. We're going to give you guys more heads up next time. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Yes, sir. Let us know what you think, and we'll be back with another video.
Peace.